welcome to a very big clash between the two teams currently qualified for the semi-finals of the ICC Cricket Men's World Cup 2023, and that is between India and South Africa. Of course, my name is Naledi Apane, coming to you live with Kandeka Dube, and as always, previewing that match. That will be a very big one today, but I feel like it almost takes away from the excitement that it should have been, because these two teams have already qualified for the semi-finals. But I think it is the rehearsal, the final before the final, and we'll see how today goes. Tandy, thank you so much. How are you doing today?
Awesome. How are you today?
I feel like I slept enough for the first time in so long, so I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, more excited about how today is going to turn out to be, because it's more of like the mock of the finals, what we're going to see during the finals. But at the same time, having that mixed feelings, of saying that, okay, if it goes this way, what if the results remain consistent, or if something changes? So it's one of those win-win situations, but definitely going to be an amazing day.
Yeah, and obviously yesterday results between New Zealand and Pakistan actually affected the outcome of South Africa being through to the semi-finals. If New Zealand had won that match, then South Africa would have had to win today's match to qualify for the semi-finals. So thanks to the DLS method, that seems to have worked in Pakistan's favor. Tasmin said that Pakistan just have a very good relationship with cricket gods, because they seem to be on their side every day. But we've already spoken about that match yesterday and how it was and how it ended. And I think the conclusion, we decided to just agree to disagree with that method that was used. But yeah, that's how New Zealand will still have to fight for their spot in the top four. So number 1, number 2, India and South Africa already occupying those spaces. Number 3 and 4 still heated up, still up for grabs. And after yesterday's matches, obviously with England also failing to beat Australia, that means Australia still also have a 60, 70, 80% chance to make it through to the top 4. But what's your overall view after the matches yesterday of what the top 4 might look like?
Still a little bit shaky, because they still have 2 more or so games to win. And for example, where I was reading online, it was saying Afghanistan still has a chance, in the sense that if they win their next 2 games, even though they might be hard, but that chance or probability would also put some more pressure in the top 4. So they just need those extra points, then they also compete for that top 4. So now it's a matter of the next game, and Australia to maintain their spot there.
And of course, I believe that New Zealand will just be so disappointed, especially after that spectacular performance they put up yesterday, especially from Rashin Ravindra as well, just scoring his 3rd century. He would be so disappointed if they don't make it through to the semi-finals. And we spoke about it, that they seem to be losing points at the most crucial time of the league stage. Again, losing another match, back-to-back losses now. So obviously that does affect them. But do you think that they will be able to sort of like bounce back in the remaining matches and just win all of them, because that's all they need to do? But it's getting tricky, because that will mean Pakistan will have to lose their next 2 matches.
Yeah.
Afghanistan will also have to lose a match and win 1 in order to qualify for the semi-finals. So it's busy there. Yeah.
Either way, it can go either way. Like what I was saying, it's a matter of how much hunger do they want. Like the effort they put in, like yesterday's game, that was good.
Yeah.
They should just maintain that momentum as much as they lost to this DLS. Like how we always talk about how they need to maximize during the first power play. That's your only advantage. That they shouldn't relax too much during the first power play, because anything can happen. I'm sure Pakistan knew with the conditions of that venue that it was going to become like all rainy and all in the afternoon. So
that's why they decided to.
Exactly. That's when they decided to say, okay, we'll go first, and they'll try to reduce the runs, of which they felt, which is fine. But they knew that, okay, in this first power play, before the rains come, they need to maximize, and that's how they managed to do that, scoring more runs. And as much as they were still behind from the 400, and we thought that was a done deal. But
it was, honestly. I don't feel Pakistan would have been able to chase that higher margin score.
Definitely, it was going to be hard, but it's one of those need to know, like, strategize how you're going to play. You shouldn't relax totally when it comes to the first power play and say you have the whole 50 overs to go through. But at least if you put in more than 100 or 50 plus runs in the first power play, then you can be consistent all the way. So definitely it's going to be a tricky one for New Zealand in the sense of that mistake happening. Okay, it's not a mistake, but the unfortunate part happening.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
But none of this will continue moving forward.
Let's hope so. And of course, today is that very big clash. We said that it's the final before the final. That's if the two teams don't get knocked out in the semis. But this match between India and South Africa, a very big one. So if New Zealand had won yesterday's game, South Africa would have wanted to win today. Well, they would have to win today's match in order to qualify for that match. I think that today's match will be won at the toss, because whoever wins that toss will want to make sure to either, for example, if South Africa were to win that toss, they would want to make sure that they bat first. But in this case today, considering that they're playing against a team that knows how to chase really well, with India, they pace their innings really well when it comes to chasing compared to when they bat first. Because when they bat first, it's like they don't know whether to go in hard and create a higher score, unlike when they're chasing. So I feel like if South Africa were to win the toss today, I would say they should just fix that issue, that they have, and that would be chasing. I think that they should field first.
So they should not field first?
Yeah.
Based on the stats about the ground, since they're playing at Eden Gardens, they say the ground is betting friendly, offering good bounce and carrying due to that cotton, the black soil which they use for the pitch.
Yeah.
But they're saying, based on their stats, and the teams that bat first have a better chance of winning. Based on the records here, because 21 out of 37 matches played, they've won based on the team which batted first, like in the first innings. And then the highest team score was 357. That was India against Sri Lanka this year.
Yeah.
So, and the lowest is 55, Sri Lanka versus India. So it's like India's paradise right there. They know what they're supposed to do, and even if they're made to bet first, they know what the ground is like, and they will utilize that. The fact that it's just the Jew hasn't settled in, it's still nice and everything is in order.
Yeah.
They'll just maximize. There's nothing to lose really, because they know they've made it to the semis, and SA is following up. So it's one of those going to be just a friendly. There won't be much action the way we're expecting it compared to when they face each other again during the finals. So it's one of those, we can play each other, analyze how you do your stuff, and I also play my style. Then it's just one of those going to be a chill day. As much as they've got their own personal states or goals they would want to win. So yeah.
But also we have to bear in mind that yes, the stats of the stadium do say that the team that bats first stand a higher chance of winning that match. But also looking at the teams so far in the tournament, India has won most of their games from chasing. That means they know, like when a score is set, let's say 350, for example, they know how to pace themselves and they know how to get to that score. And that's where you see Virat Kohli scoring the most centuries while chasing. So I feel like if betting first, it's going to be a tricky one for them. And it might also be a tricky one for South Africa if they decide to chase that match. So I don't know what's going to happen today. We'll see how the toss comes out and which captain decides what, either to stick to their strongest points or try to, destabilize the opponents.
Yeah, and also based on these head-to-head stats, in the ODI World Cups, like they've played against each other 5 times, and of which South Africa has had 3 wins. Against India, and it shows it's a tricky one right there, because if it's SA the upper hand, would just say they're going to win this one. But if you look at the key players to watch out in this tournament, for India, we'll start off with that one. For the betting side, they've got Virat Kohli, who has 442 runs in 7 matches. He's basically averaging in 63.14 runs, and including 1 century and 3 50s. Then they've got Rohit Sharma, another batter, who is a total of 402 runs in 7 matches, averaging in 57 runs with 250s. They've got Shubhra Gill, another batter, 357 runs in 7 matches, averaging 51.
Yeah.
Then they've got Shreyas Iyer, another batter, who has an average of 42 runs. So those are their main top 3 batters already. They are openers. And then when they look at the bowling side where they need to attack against SA, they've got Mohammed Shami, that's a bowler who has 15 wickets in 7 matches already, including that 5 which he got the last game. And they've got Mohammed Siraj, who has 13, who is also a bowler. He has 13 wickets so far.
Yeah.
So, and also it shows that they're also well balanced. Not that I'm counting out SA. They've got Quinton de Kock, who's currently at the top,
leading in the entire tournament.
Exactly. He has 545 runs in 7 matches. His average is 77, so it's either 77 and above. It's barely at the bottom unless it's one of those bad days. They've got Rasi
van de Dassen,
yeah. He's another batsman we can count on. He has an average of 442 runs in 7 matches, averaging at 60. David Miller, another batter, he's got 341 runs in 7 matches. So we can also include Themba Bavuma as one of the batters as well to look out for. Never know today to be that turning moment for him. Then he just unleashed what he had before the tournament, and also the bowling side were also equally strong. So it's now a matter of how they're going to handle this, and the one who wins the toss, like what you said, will definitely take it up to them, because they know they can do both. As much as SA was struggling, they know that, okay, this is a do or die moment, because never know the other teams who are coming at the bottom, how they'll perform, and you never know, might keep them out of the semis, of which that's definitely not what we would want that happening.
Yeah, but I feel like more than anything, today's match, like I said, for me, I feel like it has taken away that thrill, because both teams have already qualified for the semi-finals. However, it's more like a practice for the for the final, because I feel like those are the 2 teams that are already going to make it to the final based on the performances so far of the team, and obviously the inconsistencies of the other 8 teams. So you've also mentioned the stats of the top players in both teams, and I'm sure South Africa has also made note of the fact that if you take a Virat Kohli out very early on in the game, you sort of try to, destabilize the batters in that Indian team. Also, the very same thing in that South African team. If you're taking out Quinton de Kock as soon as possible, you're taking out Aiden Markram, David Miller, it becomes very tricky for them to higher score. However, in all the matches that SA has won, they've won by 100 runs in most of those matches. One of them being that very first match against Sri Lanka, setting the highest total score in this entire tournament. Teams are yet to beat that, which is a 428, and of course the second match they won by 311, third match 399, 382 the third one, and of course the last one being 357, which was against Pakistan, and just winning by 1 wicket. So in all the games that SA has had to chase, they've lost 1 match to Netherlands while chasing, almost lost the other match while chasing Pakistan, only winning by 1 wicket. So this, for me, I feel like I've already said, I feel like this is going to be a practice match for the 2 teams. So if Bavuma wins that toss, I would rather we chase this match and just finally conquer that, the thought in the head that we can't chase, and just try to fix the issue today, because it's now or never. What's going to happen in the semi-final if an opposition team wins the toss and decide to bat first? Then that means we're going to struggle to chase. So today is the game to just try and fix your weaknesses.
And since like the toss has been done, India won it, and they chose to bet first. So that means they were saying, okay,
here's to chasing.
Yes, to chasing, and they know that SA struggles now, so it's now or never to prove the point that they can chase, and they should face that fear that even though they're playing with India, they just need to do their best, and the bowlers, they need to put in some serious work right there and to try and stop the India from scoring high score. And based on these head-to-head stats from the World Cup, the previous World Cups, seems like the last 2 years before this World Cup, India has been winning. And they imagine, like in 2015, they won by 130 runs.
Yeah.
In 2019, they won by 6 wickets. So it shows India, they know how to do both the chasing and the setting up. Exactly. Yeah. And the last time SA won against India, that was in 2011, and it was by 3 wickets. So that the margin difference between when SA wins and India wins, that's a tricky one, right?
It's going to be a tricky one, and I love that India chose to bet first because they know that South Africa's weakness is definitely the one of chasing. And like I said earlier on, for me, I feel like the game will be won at the toss. It is a very great challenge for South Africa to just try and, chase that score, and obviously try to win it convincingly, because that's all they need to do to make sure that they're ready for the semi-final. So more than anything, this will be rehearsal for the semis and obviously off to the final. We also have a Awardee, one of he's number 11 on the wicket takers list. So he's also going to obviously be looking to take out as many wickets as possible today. So they are, in as much as the match could turn out however, there are players who want to make, of course, personal milestones as well. Rabada with 11 wickets so far, and of course Mohamed Shami with is it 14 of those in just a few matches. So obviously that match is definitely going to be an interesting one, and whoever wins, I don't know, I'm tempted to say might go on and win the final.
Well, that one is a tricky one, in the sense that the pressure they're feeling now in the group stages definitely is going to be different from how the finals are going to be. Like, there's going to be that maximum intensity right there, because they know there's no coming back here. Unlike in these group stages, we are saying, I might lose today, but I have tomorrow to make up for the loss today, even though it's another team. But the moment you lose the final, that's it. It's one of those, I was there, but I couldn't get to the finish line. So,
you still get a medal, at least that's something.
But that feeling that I almost got it, I was in that.
I was close, but not close enough.
For example, SA has been having an upper hand when it came to the net run rate, meaning they have a higher chance of winning. But now India has managed to catch up with them. So it's one of those, yes, we need the maximum points right now to at least save ourselves from these other teams coming up. As much as they've qualified already for the semis. For the semis, that net run rate will literally show us how much upper hand do they have. Like, you can compare based on that net run rate. If someone has a lower net run rate versus the one with a higher net run rate, you can tell who's going to win, meaning they've got a stronger team because they have a higher net run rate. So when it comes to the finals, that's what they'll be checking out. Okay, who's the strongest based on the way they were performing here at the bottom during the group stages up to the semis. So that's how they do their grading, saying, okay, this one is a stronger team or not. Or,
based on a net run rate.
Exactly. Other than just the experience only, because all teams might be having the experience, but now it's a matter of how are you performing all along during the group stages.
Interesting. But just on that, what do you think of India choosing to bat first and making South Africa chase today?
It's a bold move, in the sense that they are using South Africa's weaknesses and they're using the ground advantage. They've been playing on that field for more than South Africa either way. That's when they say to set their highest score against Sri Lanka. They know how the ball turns, and they've got more spinners, as you can see, in terms of their bowling attacking area. the seamers as well, there is equally as good, but they're more skilled. So it's more of like if they bet first right now, they're just going to try their best to set up a higher score. As much as SA will manage to catch it up, but it's one of those.
Will they?
They have to. They have no choice. They have to. As much as India has just been Buma and Mohamed Shah, I mean, those top wicket takers, it doesn't matter. SA just has to pull up their socks, not feel defeated before the game starts, and it's just a toss. So they need to maximize on their mentality now. It's one of those, they're properly skilled and ready for these kind of games. But now it's that thing where they need to be strong again mentally, saying, okay, if this is just the group stages and you are failing to do this now, what more in the semis? What more in the finals? And you can't put them straight up to the finals because you never know who they'll face in the semis, and what if they get beaten because of that mentality again, saying we can't chase. So it's now like what you're saying, they need to learn now to how to chase and manage to win those games. And even if they're to lose, they shouldn't just donate that net run rate, a higher one, to India. So, and I'm sure they would want to break that record of India winning all their matches, all their group stages. So that should be a bigger motivation for them, saying, okay, we managed to break this chain which was happening, and we're here to win it.
And I think there is a greater motivation as well for Virat Kohli, you know, back-to-back matches, just failing to score that 49th century. So coming into this match, it's his birthday. He has that to play for, as well as finally get his 49th ODI century. I feel like he would want to do that against South Africa. So him out as soon as possible. That's exactly what's going to happen. I feel like he's finally going to get his century.
I'm sure it's one of those, it will be a gift from the nature. This saying today it's your birthday will allow you to, maybe if only they could be like, we'll allow you to get your century, but we won't allow the team to win. That would be a better gift.
No,
don't you think so?
No, I feel like more than anything, the opposition team will never even donate anything. Even if you need 1 point, their job is not to donate any points to anyone. They just need to make sure that you work hard for whatever it is that you need to get against them, and obviously try not to give it to you. So before we come and wrap up today's preview of the match, England yesterday, after that loss to Australia, now that just secured their place at the bottom, they eliminated from the competition. Now the only focus for them in Bangladesh is the ICC Trophy Tour. With how they played yesterday, do you think that the top 7 spot is still a very much alive chance for them?
That's a trick one because I'm not so sure. I haven't checked really which upcoming games they're going to play against.
I'll check
but
for you.
It's not going to be the easy ones. It's just going to be back, but instead
Teams like Afghanistan.
exactly, that one you might underestimate them, but check out the damage they have been doing all along, and that's one team you can't underestimate. It's like Afghanistan and Pakistan; those two, they know what they're doing, and in every tournament, based on the stats I've been seeing, the ones which they've been winning, it's like they're improving match by match in terms of the quality of the game they're playing. Their bowlers are becoming more accurate. They're having less of the extras at the midfield. So it's one of those, they're getting geared up for the next tournament with the top 7 qualifications. So it's one of those, the championship, yes. So it's one of those, it will be harder for England or Bangladesh to be like, okay, we'll just wake up on the They literally had the most number of fours in the tournament, like in the World Cup tournament. They had a total of 46.
That's England.
That's New Zealand versus Pakistan. That game in total, they had 46 fours. That's literally at the top. And they beat South Africa versus Sri Lanka, of which they had 45. So meaning yesterday, as much as they lost, but that maximum effort both teams put there, really, their match had to be ranked at the top. And also, they broke the record of having the highest World Cup total in losing, cause like having the 400 for one, 401 for six. That one, everyone expected a win, but turned out it was a loss. So it's one of those breaking the records. Previously, they were having 383 for nine, 344 for nine. So it's one of those. There were less wickets lost in yesterday's game, but they still lost the game. So definitely puts them at the top. So it's one of those history being made yesterday.
Yeah, and this is how the log table looks after match day number 35 and 6 yesterday. Is it 30? Yeah, 35 and 6 yesterday. Of course, India at the top with 14 points, with a very healthy run, with a very healthy net run rate. South Africa second, 12 points. Australia at number 3 with 10 points, of course, after that win against England yesterday. At number 4, New Zealand. So they are still in it because of that net run rate. That is the only difference between them and number 5, which is Pakistan with 8 points. So at 8 points, it's a tie between New Zealand, Pakistan, as well as Afghanistan. So these three teams still are fighting for the semi-final spot, and that's why I was saying that everybody now is just, gunning for that. And with the remaining fixtures for Pakistan, let me just quickly check. They have, they played New Zealand yesterday. They will be playing England on the 11th. So obviously everybody has been getting points from England. They will be looking to do the same. And that will be their final match of the tournament. And of course, Afghanistan, they will be playing against Australia. So now this will be a proper top 4 spot, because whoever that wins that one, I believe if it is Australia, then they cement their place finally in the top 3 and qualify for the semi-finals. They are just one win away from the semi-final spot. So yeah, Afghanistan will be playing South Africa on the 10th of November. I don't think it's going to be an easy one. Again, that match for South Africa should be a chasing one, because it's still the group league stage. So yeah, those are the remaining fixtures for the 3 teams that are still fighting for the final spot in that semi-final spot.
Yeah, and also one question which I'm really looking forward is the game is about to start, is that how will the India's top order batsmen react or perform against the SA Seamers, like their bowling attack? Will it be an easy one, or they'll first start out slow and then accelerate, since they are known to do well in the first power play compared to the...
But I feel like they do well in the first power play, because that's when they'll be chasing. Then they know how to pace themselves. When you're chasing, you know how to pace your innings. You know how to pace yourself. You know that in the first power play, this is the amount of runs that I'll need to, just take over to the next second power play and the third power play. So I don't think it's going to be an easy one for them, in a sense that they are used to chasing scores. So when they're batting first, they don't really know how to pace themselves. They don't know how hard to go. Yeah. So I think it's going to be an interesting match.
Definitely. And do you think they'll manage to get the early wickets?
Hopefully not. I don't want to be biased. I'm trying not to be biased, but I think they will.
Okay, more like the way we know the states for South Africa bowling side, right? Versus the way India is playing, like their first top order batsmen, the way they play on the good day, and versus the way SA plays in a good day. Let's just say today is a good day. Do you think
if it is a good day for India,
like we have both seen how both teams play just based on the general knowledge. We'll definitely ask us the technical.
Based on the general knowledge, again,
Yeah.
I'm taking you back to the fact that India don't know how to bat first. They don't know how hard to go in. So then it becomes difficult to set a score. So coming into this match, it will be interesting to see if maybe they can surpass the 350 mark, which I believe might be a very decent one. And I feel like a difficult score for South Africa to chase in this one would be anything above 400. I feel like that would be a very high score to chase. However, if India were chasing that match, I feel like they would have won it. But we'll see for a change how well they're going to do in this one. Because with Virat Kohli as well, a very a very good batsman for India, seems to be getting his centuries from chasing.
Yeah.
Can he get it today from betting first? That's the $1 million question that we have. And of course, we'll be going into technical stuff a bit later on with Tasman.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so that's what I think. But if we are to predict this one, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give my heart is an essay, but I feel like I'm gonna give it to India. No. Because they decided to bet first and they don't know how hard to go and how well to pace themselves while betting first. I'll give it to essay.
So you think SL managed to chase the score?
Yeah.
Since they also don't know how to chase.
I know it's gonna
so
be
like the blind is leading the blind. India and South Africa then.
It's going to be an interesting one. And whoever that wins here today will have a glimpse of what the final will look like if they do make it to the final, the both of them. So yeah, who do you think is gonna win that one?
Okay, let me see.
Time is money.
Okay, I would say essay, like what you said, a Virat Kohli, it's his birthday, would definitely want to put it out there and be like, hey, it's my day, I have good reason to win.
Yeah.
I need to celebrate my birthday, I need to celebrate our team's win, and I need to celebrate my centuries. So it's like they've got so much things to look forward to after winning this game.
Yeah.
As much as it just might look like it's just a practice game, but they have a statement, a status to maintain. They've got that pride and to make their people. I'm sure the stadium right now is already getting full. They've got
If it's not full yet, yeah.
Yeah, and the fans to impress. So at the same time, I feel instead they're going to have that pressure from the fans that everyone is just shouting India and they're supporting them. They have the minimum support. They've got pressure as well to try and survive um in the top four, and they need to break that record that they lost the other two matches against India. So they need to win this one. So
yeah,
I feel it's going to be a tough one. So I would give India for this one because they've got both the batters and the bowlers, and they are all good. So yeah, as much as I love our neighbors, but this one is going to be a tough one. And if it's not now, definitely the finals they're going to be even tougher.
But for India though, to finish this league stage unbeaten, don't you think it might affect them in the semi-finals? Because there you can't afford to make any mistakes. It is a do or die, knocked out.
Um, it depends how they take these kind of wins. Because if they're that nation, which has so much ego or pride, like England, definitely it's going to affect them moving forward. But I feel they are more of humble people. They know they're doing well, but you won't see them posting around. It's mostly the fans who does the posting for them. But they remain focused on, okay, we won today's game. What's the way forward to the next game, other than just saying, hey, we need to relax, no need to. So I feel like they are more like humble, and if they know what's best and the way they've been doing, maintaining that momentum all the way, I'm sure they would want to take it all the way to the finals because they know they've been at the top and they've managed to break so many records so far. And at the top, that's the final lap. That's where there's the finishing line. So they would want to maintain that all the way to the finishing line, other than just rest now because they know they haven't done anything. This was just group stages and they don't mean much as they've broken so many records right now.
Yeah, so I think we've established that it's going to be a test for the two teams today. On the complete opposite side of what their strongest points are for India in that being chasing. It is their strongest point. Most of their centuries, especially for the key players, come from chasing. For South Africa, their key point, it's definitely betting first. That's where most of their key players' strength lies. So today it will be a test for the both teams. Betting first, India, and we'll see if they will be able to set that high score that South Africa will not be able to chase. For South Africa, on the other hand, they'll be looking to just fix that problem they have, which is chasing, and just hope to win today's match. So I think we're gonna leave it here for now and come back a bit later to just you know talk about the matches and how the game is going. Unless there's something that you want to add.
No, not really. I was just trying to compare or look at the team sheets for both teams to see for South Africa who are our bowlers who managed to serve the team right now, because without them, the score definitely will skyrocket and it'll be harder to chase. So now I'm trying to see who we can do our mix and match based on our little knowledge we know, but who managed to do the little bit of damage or doing the shaking of the Indian team. I'm seeing we've got Lungingidi. We've got Kakiso Rabata. We've got Shansi. We've got Marco Jensen. Is there bowler or all-rounder?
All-rounder, I think.
But it seems like it's going to be a good day. And I also give it to SA because I know they're just going to put in that fight. It's not going to be an easy one, but now it's a matter of how much would they want this, and is it going to be a good day, or it's one of those off days for both sides as well.
I think it's going to be an interesting one. There are a lot of players that want to prove a point. In that also being Mohammed Shami for India. If he does manage to get any wickets in the first power play, I think he has officially earned my honor and respect if he does that against South Africa today. So yeah, we'll talk more about that match as it proceeds a bit later on in the show.
Thank you.